Good evening, everybody. This is Casper from the Tropical Weather Threat Society bringing you a special update on Hurricane Melissa. We are here in anticipation of the release of the 11 p.m. primary advisory as Melissa is beginning to re-intensify here and make its approach to eastern Cuba. If I turn on the... No, come on now. I would like to have the lightning. As you could see from the satellite, we are getting large bursts of extreme lightning in and around the core of Melissa over the last 2 hours or so, hour and a half. That is indicative signs of intensification and strengthening. And then if we match that up with our cold cloud tops here on the infrared, we can see that there is a considerable amount of new and vigorous thunderstorm development. Well, we've also got it on radar out of eastern Cuba here. And we can very clearly see, let me try to zoom in on this so folks may be able to see it a little better. We can clearly see that there is the development of an eye wall here on the storm. So, and it looks like that it is going to try to completely close off, which could lead to some re-intensification of this particular nightmare that we all would wish would disappear finally once and for all. Let me refresh. Yeah, I didn't think we had that just yet. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to come over here to Cyclonic WX, a very detailed website. And as you can see here, we have a hurricane reconnaissance plane entering the storm from the southern side and going through the southern eye wall. We've only got one dropson in here, but what we do have is a little bit of graph. So wind speed coming in from the south side is over 100 knots. Maybe 105 or so. Temperature, pressure. No, that's the flight. And we do not have estimated sea level pressure there. But as we could see, the plane itself is entering the eye. So we should get at least a central pressure on this shortly. Yep. 105 there with its peak flight level winds. But what I found very interesting is if I scroll all the way down here, they've got some tail Doppler radar from the earlier missions, from the NOAA missions. And then if I continue to scroll down right here, this is something that I find quite interesting because we could see these dropsons from October 22nd to October 28th, and we can see the overall how the storm kind of maintained for a couple days and really didn't do much, and then it started to intensify a little bit and organized and leveled off, and then it kind of came down and leveled off again, and then boom. Kind of leveled off and then went through another intensification cycle this morning, all the way down to 891.7 millibars. Hi, Sammy. It's just unbelievable what this storm has been able to do throughout the day today. Absolutely amazing. And another graphic that I thought was quite interesting was this is all the recon flight level winds. The whole thing. Every flight in and out of Melissa the entire time. It's quite amazing. And being that these here, we're going to have to go white because it's a black background. These are the ones that are currently being flown. So it's what an amazing track. And this particular one right here, that is where we've got the potential for, well, they're just need to get it verified, but I'm sure it'll be soon. The strongest wind speed ever recorded by hurricane reconnaissance. 252 miles an hour by a dropson. Unbelievable storm. Absolutely just magnificent in its beauty, but unbelievable in its ferocity, intensity, and potential deadliness. We do not know just yet. All right, what do we got? We do not have a sea level pressure. That is it's kind of aggravating. Did go through the center. All right, let's go over here to tropical tidbits and see if we get anything. Nothing on the sea level pressure either. Come on, Air Force. Stop playing with us. Give us some numbers, please. Or at least dropsons that we can work with. Sigh. Alright. Let's see if we got the 11 yet. Negative. Okay. We'll go back over here to radar and remind people to please follow your official sources. As you can see, we are on the Cuban Institute of Meteorology, and they've got all types of information from the cyclone warnings. As many folks, you've probably seen this come up many times over the past week. And you can get all types of information here. As far as the weather is concerned, I just scrolled right down here to our radars. Some of them are online, some of them are not. As you can see here, Big Stone, this would be the one that we would really like to have, but unfortunately it is offline. But this one is working. It's got a little bit of interference with some of the reflectivity there, but we can definitely make out the eye wall feature. And that storm is certainly trying to reorganize and re-intensify. There's no doubt about it. So we'll jump out to the Bahamas over here. Let's see, the latest alert on Melissa. Another one will be coming out here shortly. We have our hurricane warning in for all of these islands. Oh, you won't give me crayons on a PDF file. Oh, don't you just suck. Well, there's a question for my daughter. And as you can see, we're definitely going to be impacted here by quite a few central and southeastern Bahamas, Exuma and its Cays, Ragged Island, Rum Cay, Long Island, San Salvador, Cat Island, Acklands, Crooked Island, Long Cay, Mayaguana, and I have no idea. I'm not even going to try. I already butchered the first one. Big time impacts. The next one will be, next alert on Melissa here from the Bahamas will be midnight Eastern Daylight Time. And Bermuda. Again, folks, please monitor your official sources. As you can see, hurricane watch in effect. When it starts to approach, then we'll pull up the radar here and see what we get. And we still do not have the 11. They must be really waiting on this reconnaissance data to get in and get it verified and get it within the advisory itself. Let's see, not too much on that first drop zone. Was on the outer periphery there of the storm itself. So that first drop zone dropped out here, east of Jamaica. All right, come on. There we go. Now we've got the 11. All right, as of the 11 p.m. primary advisory, we are located at 19.3 north, 76.6 west, about 110 miles southwest of Guantanamo, Cuba, about 300 miles south of the Central Bahamas. Maximum sustained winds have increased back to 130 miles an hour. That makes it a Category 4. Movement is northeast or 40 degrees at 9 miles an hour. The minimum central pressure is at 950 millibars. And progress for Jamaica. The government of Jamaica has replaced the hurricane warning with a tropical storm warning. Tomorrow will certainly be a better day for many, many folks there in Jamaica. A hurricane warning is still in effect for all of eastern Cuba and the southeastern and central Bahamas. A hurricane watch is also in effect for Bermuda. A tropical storm warning is in effect for Jamaica, Haiti, the Turks and Caicos, and the Cuban province of that right there. I'm not even going to try. Hazards affecting land. This is all going to be new to all of us, so I will read it in its entirety. The damaging winds are expected to gradually subside across Jamaica, but it is advised to remain in a safe shelter until sunrise. Hurricane conditions are expected in the warning area in Cuba through Wednesday morning. Tropical storm conditions are expected in Haiti tonight and Wednesday. Hurricane conditions are expected in the southeastern and central Bahamas on Wednesday. Tropical storm conditions are expected and hurricane conditions are possible in the Turks and Caicos Island on Wednesday. Hurricane conditions are possible on Bermuda Thursday and Thursday night. Rainfall. Melissa is expected to bring an additional 4 to 8 inches across Jamaica, where storm total amounts will be between 12 to 24 inches. Isolated areas near 30 inches will be possible over mountainous terrain. Ongoing catastrophic flash flooding and numerous landslides will continue through Tuesday night. For eastern Cuba, storm total rainfall of 10 to 20 inches are expected through Wednesday, with local amounts of 25 inches expected over mountainous terrain. This will cause life-threatening and potentially catastrophic flash flooding with numerous landslides. Over the southeastern Bahamas, storm total rainfall of 5 to 10 inches are expected through Wednesday, which will result in areas of flash flooding. For the Turks and Caicos, rainfall totals of 1 to 3 inches are expected. Heavy rain may begin to affect Bermuda Thursday night. Over southern Hispaniola, additional rainfall of 2 to 6 inches are expected through Wednesday, with storm total local maxima of 40 inches possible. Storm surge. There is a potential for significant storm surge along the southeastern coast of Cuba through early Wednesday. Peak storm surge heights could reach 8 to 12 feet above normal tide levels, near and to the east of where the center of Melissa makes landfall. This surge will be accompanied by large and destructive waves. Minor coastal flooding is possible in bays and inlets along the north coast of eastern Cuba. Storm surge of 5 to 8 feet above normally dry ground is possible in the southeastern Bahamas on Wednesday, and 2 to 4 feet above normally dry ground in the Turks and Caicos Islands on Wednesday. Minor coastal flooding is expected along the coast of Haiti. And for the folks here, stay out of the water. As far as the surf is concerned, just please stay out of the water. Let the storm get out of here. Our discussion. All right, come on. There we go. The 11 p.m. discussion. Melissa's passage over Jamaica this afternoon and evening caused a significant amount of weakening. The pressure rose nearly 60 millibars and the maximum winds decreased by about 50 knots based on data collected by the NOAA Hurricane Hunter earlier this evening. However, now that the core is pulling away from Jamaica, satellite images and radar data from Cuba show that the eye is becoming better defined again, and the eye wall is gaining symmetry. Melissa appears to be on a strengthening trend, and based on a combination of the earlier aircraft data and the latest satellite intensity estimates, the initial wind speed is set at 115 knots. The inner core appears larger than it was earlier today. The hurricane has turned to the northeast and is currently moving at 40 degrees at 8 knots. A trough is expected to amplify and shift eastward across the southeast U.S. during the next few days. This feature, combined with a subtropical ridge over the central Atlantic, should cause Melissa to accelerate northeastward through the end of the week. This motion should take the core of Melissa over eastern Cuba overnight and then across portions of the southeast and central Bahamas on Wednesday. Melissa will likely be in the vicinity of Bermuda late Thursday. The models are in good agreement, but there is some long track timing spread. The NHC forecast is similar to the previous one and near a blend of the HCCA and Google DeepMind ensemble means. Melissa is expected to continue to strengthen until it reaches Cuba in a few hours. It is expected to make landfall there as a very dangerous major hurricane. After Melissa moves inland, the passage over rugged island combined with a gradual increase in vertical wind shear and intrusions of dry air should cause the hurricane to gradually weaken through the period. That being said, Melissa is still expected to be a powerful hurricane when it moves through the Bahamas and near Bermuda. The model suggests that Melissa should complete extratropical transition by 72 hours, when it is forecast to have crossed the north wall of the Gulf Stream current. The NHC intensity forecast is above the guidance in the short term, based on recent data trends, but generally near the middle of the guidance envelope from 36 through 120 hours. As you can see here, is initializing. This could strengthen, not going to lie, folks, over the next few hours prior to landfall there into eastern Cuba. The mountains will take a toll on that. And then in the next 12 hours, still maintaining major hurricane status, but then slowly beginning to weaken due to the increase of southwesterly shear and the dry air. Our forecast track. All right, let's see here. We didn't get much change at all. Still kind of on the same track, same path. Bermuda, you're a little bit, it's shifted just a little bit to the north and to the west. Not by a lot, but enough to potentially and eventually get you out of the cone, which should avoid direct impact with hurricane force winds. So that would be nice. We've certainly seen enough with Melissa throughout the day today. Our spaghetti plots, as you can see, very, very tight track clustering. And again, as noted by the National Hurricane Center right here, a little bit of a long track or timing spread. Some are a little faster, some are a little slower. So that is the uncertainty there, is more into timing, not in exactly where that's going to go. And the Google DeepMind as well, a little bit further to the north and to the west. And as you can see, it leaves Bermuda out here, kind of on its island of its own, out here just to the east of the higher portions of the track, and the higher probability over here. Just a couple get it really, really close. And please keep in mind, this was the 18Z. This, what you see with the 899, that is not what we are anticipating. This initialized at 2 p.m. this afternoon. So Melissa at 2 p.m. this afternoon had pressures of 899. So, and now obviously we have pressures of 950. So big time pressure rise as it tried to make its way across the island of Jamaica, and it's come off on the other side looking pretty healthy. Was kind of struggling when it first came off, but it doesn't look like it's struggling anymore. All right, our wind speed probabilities. That oil field, I have no idea where that oil field is. You have a 41% chance of seeing tropical storm force winds. Hibernia oil field, okay. All right, and then Cape Race, Newfoundland, now with a 19% chance of seeing tropical storm force winds. Bermuda, you have gone up to an 82% chance of tropical storm force winds. Your 50% chance of tropical storm force winds is now at 35%, and your hurricane force winds are at 11%. Great Eczema, we have 44% chance of tropical storm force winds. Thank you there, Keith. With a 7% chance of seeing our 50 knot winds and a 2% chance of seeing our hurricane force winds. San Salvador, you are up to an 88% chance of seeing tropical storm force winds. 54% chance of seeing those 58 mile an hour winds, and a 25% chance of seeing our hurricane force winds. Mayaguana, we are at 87% chance of tropical storm force winds, though 11% chance of those 50 knot winds, and only a 3% chance of seeing those hurricane force winds. As far as Guantanamo Bay, your tropical storm force winds, yes, but your 50 knot or 58 mile an hour winds, only at 6%. Miss Betty, I honestly do not know, ma'am. I know that a lot of people have been told to stay sheltered in place until sunrise. So I'm not 100% sure. Miss Two Cups, it says, so it won't hit us at all. I do not know your location, ma'am. So I would not be able to make that determination or help to clarify that or not. Montego Bay and Kingston, we are still looking at tropical storm force winds. 99%, which is pretty much yes. Those will be beginning to lessen up with the rainfall beginning to lessen up through the overnight hours. So please, folks, ongoing flash flooding and landslides everywhere. Oh, U.S.? No, ma'am. Not a U.S. issue at all. None whatsoever. It is not a threat at all to the United States, as you could see. Frontal boundary that has come through some of the rain that has been here on the East Coast down into Florida as well. That is the frontal boundary that pretty much set the barrier in place and is what is helping to move that off to the northeast. And I can give you a good example of that. So, as you could see here, with a lot of this air associated with this, this is basically the barrier that is not allowing this to come to the west at all. It is going to follow this track right here. And as you can see, Bermuda is right there. So it's going through this weakness in the high pressure ridge. You have a high pressure ridge right here. And another one right here. So it's going through this gap. So as it does that, it will continue to accelerate. And we also have another reinforcing shot with this low pressure right here. As this continues to move out, it will reinforce, bring even cooler air down further to the south and reinforce this barrier and really begin to accelerate it out. It's going to gain speed the entire time from here on out. Thankfully, only got a couple more days, and that monster, that nasty storm, is going to end up finally being off the board and into the record books, and it is damn sure going to be holding some very, very serious records for potentially a very, very long time. All right, our forecast advisory. I just want to point out here that our hurricane force winds only stretch out about 45 miles, 50 miles, somewhere in that range. On the southern side, they stretch out about 20 miles. On the northern side, eastern and western quadrants, they stretch out about 25 miles. So depending on how you want to look at it, it could be up to 50 miles wide there on the northern side, or 40 on the southern. But that core will be around there, and the diameter of the eye now has definitely grown and is now up to 20 nautical miles wide. So that is quite a bit bigger than what we were looking at earlier. That's double the size, actually. We were looking at a 10 nautical mile wide eye earlier. Now, again, we will not get a new rainfall graphic until in the morning. But, as we can see here, for our friends in Cuba, we have a wide spread, 6 to 12 inches with those two colors there, with our red being 12 to 16. So anywhere across eastern Cuba, we are looking from anywhere to 100 to 400 millimeters of rain, or anywhere from 6 to 16 inches, with isolated areas potentially of higher than 16 inches. For our friends down here in Jamaica, we've got still some more rain that's coming, but your conditions will begin to improve through the overnight hours and through the day tomorrow. So just hold on, folks. Wait till sunrise. Tomorrow's going to be a better day, because I don't know, today, especially for the western side of the island, was nothing less than historic. And honestly, it very well may rival the strongest known recorded landfall in history. It could very well do that. Now, our lower confidence still remains for the Bahamas. I expect this to change in the morning. So when we get our next update for the rainfall graphic at the 8 a.m. intermediate advisory on Melissa tomorrow morning, this graphic will change and we will get an update at that point. But as of now, you are still in that lower confidence forecast, but some places could see upwards of 8 inches, maybe more, plus surge and wind impacts as well. And for the Dominican Republic and Haiti, folks, just a little bit longer to go. For Haiti, 2 to 4 inches. For the Dominican Republic, a good portion of the southwestern part of Dominican Republic are looking at 2 to 4 inches, with the elevated terrain there on the island potentially up to 4 to 6 inches, or 100 to 150 millimeters. Okay, let's jump over to our key messages. Let's hit the refresh on this and get some new key messages. Thank you very much. Erase all of our circles from our previous screen. Key message number 1, Jamaica. Although Melissa is pulling away from the island, deadly hazards remain, including downed power lines and flooded areas. Ensure generators are properly ventilated and placed outside at least 20 feet away from doors, windows, and garages to avoid carbon monoxide poisoning. If you are cleaning up storm damage, be careful when using chainsaws and power tools, and drink plenty of water to avoid heat exhaustion. Number 2, Haiti and the Dominican Republic. Catastrophic flooding and landslides are expected across southwestern Haiti and southern portions of the Dominican Republic during the next day or so. In Haiti, extensive damage and isolation of communities is likely. Tropical storm conditions are expected into Wednesday. Eastern Cuba, life-threatening storm surge and flash flooding and landslides and extremely damaging hurricane winds are likely through Wednesday morning. Seek safe shelter now, please. Yes. And for the folks in the Bahamas, as we can see here, southeastern and central Bahamas, plus the Turks and Caicos. Hurricane conditions, life-threatening storm surge, and heavy rainfall are expected across portions of the southeastern and central Bahamas on Wednesday. Complete preparations by tonight and follow local official guidance. Tropical storm conditions and heavy rains and significant storm surge are expected in the Turks and Caicos Islands on Wednesday. And for Bermuda, hurricane conditions and heavy rainfall are possible in Bermuda beginning Thursday or Thursday night, where a hurricane watch is in effect. All right, we are going to jump over here and take a look. The shear earlier was 20 knots. I wanted to see if we get this video again. So this is microwave imagery. Here, I'll pull it up so folks can see the absolute devastation. I'll go a 48-hour loop. This is Melissa over the last 48 hours with the microwave imagery, and you could see it all in its pure power as it's making approach. Absolute 100% pure raw tropical power at its absolute maximum, just giving it everything it had, and it definitely did. A lot of the damage that I've seen coming out of Jamaica, again, still preliminary, but just the overall amount of roofs that are gone, the power infrastructure is pretty much done. I know that the Black River there on the southwestern coast, near where the landfall was made, they are using the police station as a shelter right now, because, and even the police station itself has been completely inundated by floodwaters. So, big time problems in the, I believe it is the what is it again? St. Elizabeth Parish. Yes, this whole region right here is absolutely devastated. Absolutely devastated right in here. This whole region, this whole thing. And I'm really afraid for all of these little towns and villages and stuff like that. All of these roads, we don't see this large, extensive road network that you see throughout the United States. So it's only going to take, say, for folks here in Arcadia and wanting to get to Garland, you cut this road off in like 3-4 different spots, and then you end up cutting the roads up here. We could have entire communities that are completely separated and cut off from one another, and even in between the communities, we could have the roads cut. So there's no telling until tomorrow exactly the extent of what we're going to see here throughout where this thing made landfall today. It's horrible. All right, I'm going to check in here again. Oh, we do have an I-954 on the dropsonde there in the eye. So, we called it 950, which that's what we're going to go with from the National Hurricane Center. So, maybe, we could definitely tell that it's trying to re-intensify. There's no doubt about that. You could see that very visible here on infrared satellite loop. We will enable the don't you start that with me. Come on. This thing has a mind of its own. It works when it wants to, and then it'll tell you, nope, it's unavailable. And then you'll pick something else, like just anything else, and then the next thing you know, there it is. 60 frames. Voila, there it is. Wasn't available at 90, wasn't available at 120. Pick 60, and then if you click 90 or 120 again, the next thing you know, you'll get all them frames. But as we could see over the last hour, it is definitely beginning to try to re-intensify. A lot of deep thunderstorm activity and cold cloud tops in and around, directly in and around the center here, especially on the western side. And the eye is trying to regain symmetry, although it is going to run out of time because the northern portion of the central dense overcast will start to interact with the mountainous terrain, and it's going to be very difficult for it to really do a lot after that point in time, because the disruption should be pretty significant at that point. And on top of that, you can see some of the higher cirrus clouds out here beginning to move in that general direction instead of your natural outflow that would generally try to push it that way. We're starting to see a lot of these clouds being drug in that general direction, with what looks to be a decent slot of dry air trying to make its way down in and rotate in on and into the southern quadrant there. All right, everybody, that's about all that I've got here for this evening. Really, all I could do was just read out the update. Just stay weather aware for the folks in the warned areas. Please rush all preparations to completion and follow all directives issued to you by your local officials. If you are told to evacuate, you evacuate. You cannot replace the one thing that you cannot replace is yourself. Everything else, can be replaced. A life cannot. So please exercise caution. Rush all preparations to completion. And with that, I am going to go ahead and sign off. I will be back tomorrow morning. We're going to do it again tomorrow. We'll be live again 9 a.m. Central, or 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central here on Facebook and YouTube. We're probably going to do at least a 9, 1, and then our normal 6. We'll play it by ear for a late night live tomorrow night. We'll have to see exactly how it all goes, because it's going to be out there for Bermuda and making landfall or its closest approach to Bermuda sometime on Thursday or Thursday evening. So I may take a little bit of a break after running so many lives over the last few days tomorrow evening to rest up a little bit. So this way we can do Thursday on approach to Bermuda, and then Friday will be Halloween, but that is our last regularly scheduled live, or like guaranteed live for the 2025 hurricane season, except for our end of the season special. So after Halloween, come this Saturday, we will go live if something is on the National Hurricane Center's tropical outlook and it achieves a 40% chance of development, then we will be live after that to cover that. But if nothing's out there, we're not going live, folks, because there's no need to talk about, hypotheticals and some ifs and some maybes that could be many days down the road. We've already experienced that a couple times earlier this season, and no, we're starting to wind down. So let's enjoy the opportunity while we have it. All right, everybody. I'll talk to you guys in the morning. Have a great night. Bye for now.